Welcome to my little introduction for Slooh.com, which is how we will be doing our labs. The image that you see behind me here on my Zoom background is the Gabrielle Mistral Nebula. This is a picture I took on Slooh just a few days ago. So you can take pictures that are like this as well. Caveat, if you're watching this video in February 2021, this image came from a few days ago. If you're watching it later than that, it may have come from some other time, like February 2021, not a few days ago. Time is relative in that way. So just want you to be clear on that. Okay, we'll go forward. I'm going to show you a couple of things here on Slooh so that you can see what I'm doing and see what hopefully you will be doing. Also, I will give you some specifics about what to do with regards to our classroom area in Slooh, as well as your first two quests. And then you can start on other quests as you want to. But I'm going to share my screen here, and we will see what we can get from that here. So hopefully you are seeing Slooh.com here on my screen. After you log in, this should be the screen that comes up for you. So as you're looking at it, you will have observatories, missions, photos, communities, and clubs. You'll have your information over here. I am Professor Kurt in Slooh. So if you're looking for a post from me or looking for me, that's the name to be looking for. One of the things you'll notice over here, we have these things called gravity points. Don't worry too much about that. That's just a sort of a little thing they do to show how much you've done and how long you've been on the site. And then these badges here. I've been collecting the badges that are available in Explore the Universe. We'll be doing about a dozen of those during our class. So you'll start to get some badges too. You can do more if you want to. Some take a very long time. In fact, some take almost a year to complete. Some can be done in a couple of days. Some you have to sort of be there at the time to get it. Like this in the middle here, we have observation. We have solar eclipse 2020. Well, we're done with that. So we can't get that badge. You can't get that badge anymore. Howlin' moon, we can't get that badge either because that was the moon, the full moon on October 31st on Halloween this past year. But new ones will pop up in here. We may or may not be doing any of that along the way. But first of all, oops, sorry about that. Hope that didn't make any noise for you. Clubs. Our class is actually a club according to Slooh. So you click on clubs here, and I have more clubs here than you'll probably see. You'll probably see Ptolemy, which is new to Slooh. Anyone who's new is there. And you'll probably see Ivy Tech Community College. This is the one where our stuff will be. So if you click on that, you'll see we have 18 members. You probably won't have a manage club button there, but you'll see also different kinds of things that are down here, like labs start February 15th. Now, what I want you to do when you come into this area is I will post up discussions that are here. Like here's your first official quest for our solar telescope. And then there's also a picture that I got a couple of days ago of the Darth Vader galaxy. I will be posting up some pictures of things that I get that I think are cool for you to see. And then here's just the first one, welcome, down here. What I want you to do is when you read one of these posts that are here, click on the little heart. Because as you can see, I'm looking at the heart and I can see which ones of you have looked at this, which ones of you have read this. So click on that heart. You can also leave a message here, starting my quest, off to explore, and that's good. And what I'll do is I will then click on a heart like this one here. I hadn't done that yet, so that you'll know that I have seen that too. So we'll do heart to heart there. So as you click on those, that'll be good. Then come down here for your solar telescope quest, which is the first one, the rising star, and I'll show you that in a minute. I have posted up a couple of pictures that you can look at that will show you what you might see through the telescope that is on Slooh for the sun. And it also attaches to our textbook. We've already passed that. This was in our first week, our first 2 weeks, our first module. But if you want to look at the video for the lecture again that talks about the sun, I've linked that here. As we have quests in the future, I will put up the links that are there. So I see there's a link in here as well. Please do the hearts here. One of the things I'm probably going to do is I will post up your points for your lab after you've completed the lab and after you've clicked the heart. That way I'll know that everything is in that's there. And go ahead and click on the other things so that I just know that you've read them. So we have a couple of people who've gone through and clicked on these hearts. Just go ahead and click on those too. That way I know you're following along. And for each new quest, I will put up another discussion that's here. So you can look for those there. That is in the club area. To get back to the home page, come over here to the top left-hand side, click on these 3 bars, and you'll see home, guides, clubs, quests, star parties. You can click on this anytime from any screen in Slooh. So we'll go back home, and you'll notice we've got, again, our 3 bars up here in clubs. Missions and photos and community. You can join other clubs if you want to. I encourage you to, because you can find a little bit more. Community button will show you some wonderful image objects that people have seen. This is a really nice one from Jarmor. Jarmor has been around for a few years. I'm going to go ahead and give that a heart. Give that a little plus there. Notice it didn't turn red, but it did record my liking of it. Then if I wanted to say something, I'll say something here because this is a nice image. You click on that and write a comment. And I will say, this is a very nice image compilation. I'd love to have these kinds of Photoshop skills. And I would, because I'm not really as good at astrophotography as many people are here on Slooh. If I had a photo that I wanted to compare, I could add it there. But I'll just post that up. That gives other people in the community a sense that, hey, people are interacting and looking. You don't have to do this, but it's an optional extra. Now, one of the things I want you to notice, look, it seems to be taking a long time. It says, please wait, loading discussions. Give it 10 or 15 seconds, but sometimes it hangs up on you. So don't be afraid if this happens to go up and refresh your screen. Because when you refresh the screen, one of the things that will happen, let me scroll back to community here. Where are we? Notice it says 5 there now. And if I click on that, my comment is in fact in here. So if it hangs up on you, by hanging up, I mean just spinning and not refreshing, go ahead and refresh. You probably won't lose what you were posting when that happens. So that's what community is. Missions and photos, I'll get to in a moment. But your first quest, and I have done all the quests I'm asking you to do. The only one I haven't completed yet is the lunar features and lunar phases, because those take a little bit longer to do. But everything else that I have done here, all of these quests I have done in about 2 weeks. So you can, if you go crazy at it, get a lot of things done really quickly. You don't have to. Fair warning, I've devoted about 8 hours a day for 2 weeks to getting these done. So you probably don't have 8 hours a day for 2 weeks in a row. I don't expect that from you. But some of these are pretty short to finish, but they require multiple times of your doing it. So the first ones I want you to work on, as you'll see in our club area, are this one here called Rising Star. For some reason, it says Rising Star on the badge, but it says Our Dynamic Star when you hover over it. And then the Hunter here actually says the Hunter. So I want you to work on these two first, but really any of these 6 down here in the starter area, you can go ahead and start. So if you click on Rising Star, it will say, for you, it will say Start Quest and View Quest. Let me show you, like Mars here. It would say View Quest and Start Quest. So for you, for Rising Star, Dynamic Star, you would start Quest. It will then take you to this. And it says a starter quest. I have a check mark here because I've finished it and it tells me it's complete. It will tell you once you're done that you're done. It will also tell you what chapter in our textbook is tied to this if you want to read that. And it will give you the steps to do. This one has 5 steps and then you get your badge. So what you would do is you would go into step 1. It will talk about a little bit of reading for you to do about the sun, what people have thought about the sun in the past, Galileo talking about the sun. And then you will want to answer a question. It'll pull up a question for you. What type of object is the sun? Well, it's a star. You know that already, so I'm not giving you too much of information here. You can get these wrong and do them again. So if it's incorrect, you can then do it again. Don't worry about that. Then you need to capture a live image of the sun. Well, I've already collected it, but you go to the next step here, and it will tell you a little bit more about the sun. This picture was actually taken from the sun, and then they superimposed Jupiter's over it. Talks a little bit more about the sun's path through our sky here, and then a little bit about the sun in mythology. So read that. It's a fun story. You're probably familiar with Icarus, who flew too close to the sun and his wings melted in Greek mythology. And then we have the solar capture here. If you did not have an image here, then it will be blank and there will be a little thing underneath that says capture image. Now let me show you in another quest what that looks like. So I'm going to go to this page here. I'm going to take you to the lunar phases quest to show you what it looks like when you don't have an image already in there. Oh, come back. So I'm working on this one and I'm trying to capture the images. So fresh look at the moon here. See, when I have a picture of the waxing crescent, but I don't have a picture of the first quarter. So it says find image. So I would click on that. And if I don't have an image already snapped from the telescopes, then I can select this to book a mission. And it will tell me if there are missions that are ready for it. Right now, there are no missions for first quarter moon, so I would have to try again later. And it'll take a few days before that happens. Up here in the corner, it says return to quest, so that returns us to the quest there. For your solar images, what you're going to do is you're going to take them from the Canary 5 telescope, and I will show that to you in a minute. But you'll take pictures, then you will use that find image. Images will pop up for you, and then you'll select one and put it in there. Then you'll answer another question, go to the next step. Here's the tricky part with this quest. It'll talk a little bit more about the sun, so you learn a little bit more about the sun. This, you need another picture of the sun 24 hours later. So you're going to have to do this quest in 2 steps. And what I suggest you do is do one tomorrow on Tuesday, if you haven't started snapping your pictures already, and then another on Thursday. Please note, the solar telescopes don't always operate on the weekends. And you've got to get it during a time that the sun is up, because they only will snap these live. And it has to be up in the Canary Islands. They are 5 hours ahead of us. So if you were to do these Tuesday during our class time and Thursday during our class time, you would get 2 images. more than 24 hours apart during times that the sun is up in the Canary Islands. So then you would put your picture there. Notice I put a different picture up here that you can see the sun in different ways. This one is highlighting the little prominence you can sort of see there. Notice this little offshoot from the sun. That is larger than the Earth, actually. So I chose that one for this. It'll ask you another question and another question here, a little bit more. And then this will show you your stellar composition, your stellar comparison. This is a poster it will make for you. You can download the poster on this link. I will want you to do that. So you click that and it will download a poster to your computer. Then write just a little bit about what you've seen on the sun. Doesn't have to be much. You can see here I've just got a couple of sentences. Then you go to your final step here. And this is what your final poster will look like. And you can download that. I'll want you to download that as well. So you'll have two different posters. This is really the poster I want you to send to me, but if you send both of them to me, that's fine. Then the next step, you claim your badge. I've already claimed the badge. Yes, I'm ready. If you want to change your photos, you pick no, I'm not ready. But you can say, yes, I'm ready. Once you've done that, then you can claim it. I've already claimed it. You can view the badge there. Then when you're done with everything, you can download the Quest report. And see, we've got the Quest report coming here. And when you open the Quest report, it gives a little PDF file. It tells me what your name is, that you've completed it, when you've completed it. All of these steps have been completed. The questions have been answered. And so I'll know that you've done the quest here. And then from the posters that have been downloaded, see if that will come up for us here. There's the poster. And again, that has my name up in the corner here and the date that the quest was done. So those will be the things that you'll turn in to me. Those you'll turn in on Canvas, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So once you're done with that, you can go back to home. So you can go in and out of this until you've collected all of your images. Go ahead and go to the Hunter as well. View Quest. Again, you'll need to start the quest. Again, we have the download quest report when you're done at the top of the first page. OpenStax chapter 20, we're just about there. You'll capture images. We have an introduction that you'll read and ask a question. And you've probably seen Orion. In fact, when it's not snowing outside during the winter time, you can go out and see Orion's belt very easily. The next step, what you'll do is you will collect an image. This is the Orion Nebula. This is an actual image I got last week, so early February 2021, of the heart of the Orion Nebula. It's otherwise known as M42, Messier 42. There was a guy named Messier who put together a catalog of things like this that he was finding. This little smaller part at the top is actually M43. It's got its own number. The reason he put this catalog together is because people kept rediscovering the same things over and over and over again. And he said, we need a catalog of what's already been found so people will know, stop telling us you found something. So you need one image there. This needs to be taken at night. And this will be, again, where you'll click on when it says find image. And if you don't already have a picture of it, you'll schedule a mission, and you can do that on your own. I'll show you how to schedule a mission in a minute apart from this. Then you've completed this step. You read a little bit more about the Orion Nebula, where it is. You can sort of see a little bit about how large it would be in the sky. See, that nebula is about the same size as the full moon, which most people don't realize, but it's a lot fainter. So that's why we don't see it with the naked eye. And then you would answer a question and another question, and then read a bit more, and see how your image stacks up to Messier's image. Almost like a Batman image there in some ways. And you can write just a little bit about what you're seeing the differences between what you saw and what he drew. There weren't cameras back then, certainly no cameras that would work on a telescope, no real cameras to speak of in 1769. So this is the first real image that came off of the Orion Nebula. Notice it was in 1880, so more than 100 years later. And then you can write a little bit about your picture. I wrote a little bit about my picture. Go to the next step and you create a stunning poster, and you can get some really stunning images here. So this is my poster with a little bit about that, which comes from what you've read. And again, you can download the poster and then you claim your badge at the end. And again, for this quest, I want the poster and the quest report. And you'll turn those in again on Canvas. I'll post up in our club area, in our classroom area here, something for the Hunter quest as well. So those are the first two to do. If you can book your mission for an observation directly in the quest. But if you want to do it apart from that, scroll down here and you'll see something called missions and mission setup. Now, sometimes they will have featured missions. So there might already be one that you're looking for. We have here the Eta Carina Nebula, the Rosette Nebula, the Hamburger Galaxy. These are fun things to look at. And you can see which telescopes they're on. There are telescopes in Chile and there are telescopes in the Canary Islands. There's some in the Northern Hemisphere, that's the Canary ones. There are actually 5 telescopes there. And there's some in the Southern Hemisphere. There are 3 down in Chile. Well, none of these 3 featured missions are what we'd be looking for the Orion Nebula. So you would need to go to Mission Setup. And for Mission Setup, it'll tell you you will have 5 missions that you can book at any given time. So what you would do is go down to Choose. And it's good for you to remember, if you're booking things outside, whether it's an emission nebula or a reflection nebula. Again, chapter 20 in your textbook will talk about this. But let's check out emission nebula here. And you have different choices that are here. Some are grayed out. That means they're not available to be seen at the current time. Some things can only be seen in certain parts of the year. That's why some of these quests can only be done at certain points of the year. But if we scroll down, aha, we have Orion Nebula. That's what we want, M42. It's an emission nebula. So I would click that, click Preview Mission, and it gives me a date and a time. This is universal time. Notice up here it says 2018 UTC, Universal Time. That's London time. That's also the Canary Island time. This is military time, so it's 8 o'clock, 8:18 in London right now. This is going to run at 9:30, so a little over an hour and 10 minutes. If we click Join Mission, I'll go ahead and join mission here. Notice it says Canary 1. That's a particular telescope. Congratulations, you're going on a mission. So you can scroll down here and learn a little bit more about the Orion Nebula if you want to. And you can learn a little bit more about emission nebulae here. Say finished there. Then we'll go back home. And if you scroll down after booking your mission, one of the things you'll see under the featured missions, we have mission schedule. Well, I already had several missions scheduled. The next one is in less than an hour. Here's the one for Orion. And this little figurine here tells you if other people are going on the same mission. So you may be actually watching it with others. You don't have to be there for the computer that runs the telescope to snap your picture for you. Because if you're not there, scroll down here, it will say recent missions. So these were some that I wasn't around. I wasn't around at 5:25 UTC, which is sort of the middle of the night here. So it took these pictures for me. I can see my images, and there they are. Those will also be stored in the database of, oh, my little thing is in the way there, sorry. These will be stored in the database of Slooh. If I keep scrolling down here, this is our photo roll. And see these two pictures here, these blobs, they're globular clusters, are the pictures we just saw that came from that mission. These are pictures of the sun that I snapped today. These are pictures of the moon that I snapped today. So they're always in date order by the most recent that you've seen. Some, this one I took last night, click view details. Notice how dramatic that is. That's the Eta Carina Nebula, and it will tell you at the top here what it is. That's a catalog number, new general catalog. So you can get some quite stunning images that are there. We go backwards. Some of the moon pictures that I just got because I'm doing that moon quest. Here's an okay picture of the moon. It's a little bit blurry. I'm not really happy with this one, so I'll try again another time. But that's one of the things in astronomy, is that you try again to get the best images. I'm not going to hold you responsible for image quality as much. Try to get some good images. But as long as I can see and you can see the object that you're trying for, will be good. I have a lot of pictures. So if I want to find a particular picture, like I want to find the Orion Nebula, which I've already taken pictures of, I can go to, scrolling down onto photos, sort and filter. And it will say, what do I want to sort by? I can sort by object type, or which telescope I've used, or by the time. I know it's a nebula, so let's sort by nebula. So we'll sort by nebula and apply filters. Well, here are all of the nebulae that I've taken, but I'm not seeing the Orion Nebula in here. Oh, there are a couple of Orion Nebulas, which are quite nice images. There's a good one. Have a bright flashing star here down below. So we'll scroll back there. Now the thing is, when you go back, the filter then leaves and your photo roll reverts back to normal. So if you want to look for nebulae again, and you probably won't have this same kind of problem because you won't have 100,000 photos like I do in here, but you can go to number 2 here, and you'll see there are some different pictures, including the Ring Nebula. That's a really nice one that we might look at sometime here coming up. And let's see, item number 3. Yeah, there's one I was hoping to get there. See, this a couple of days ago on the 13th, so that would have been Friday night, Saturday morning. Notice the colors on this one. So this one, the viewing was really well done. So the colors really came out on this one. But notice we also have this line here. Sometimes you'll have lines that are satellites that are caught in the view, and sometimes they are telescope anomalies. Don't worry about those. Don't worry about those if those happen. But see, any of those images of the Orion Nebula, you could have used in the hunt for that. Let me show you like this Caldwell challenge that I'm doing here. For searching for images, see, we can, if I already have an image, I can edit the image. If I click on that, it shows me the image that's there. If I have more than one image, I can go through and pick the one that I think will be best. But then you just pick which one you want to go in there. Just simply click on the image. So click on that image. And again, it may take a couple of seconds before it churns itself. usually about 5 to 10 seconds for it to place the picture where it needs to be. But that's all you need to do to get that going. And we'll let that, we need Jeopardy music sometimes for this. For this one, see, for the discussion where you're posting your replies, I said you could hit refresh. For this one, I just let it go. I just let it go. That's there. So you can, if you want to, get a head start, go ahead and click on and start any of these starter ones down here, and any one of these learning ones in here. So some of them can take a while to collect all the images. We'll definitely be doing island universes. We'll definitely be doing universe ruler. So we'll definitely do stars like ours. And there goes the sun. So some of these, like there goes the sun, when we look at that one, and you need to get your images, one of the things that you'll do, see, this is the poster that you'll get for this one. You can use the same sun image that you got before, one of your same sun images that you got before, but you'll also have a bunch of other images that you've collected from different places that are there. So I would say go ahead and take a look at some of those if you want to get a head start. And pretty much always in the learning area, if you click on it, see our radiant star, that's also one that deals with the sun. It will tell you what chapter in the textbook that it applies for. So this one, you'll tune in live again, and you will find a couple of questions that you'll go into, and there will be some similar information that you had for this one that you had for the first one, but then there will be additional information. So they build on each other. They build on each other so that you're growing in your knowledge. So some things may seem a little bit repetitious, but they're building you into a different spot. So I think for now, the other thing I want to show you is the telescopes. This is the observatories. So if you scroll down, you can actually click on the observatories. It will tell you Canary Islands are online right now. It's dark there, so you can see. Chile is offline. It's not dark there yet. It will also sometimes give you a sky rating over here, 1 through 5. The bigger the number, the better your images are going to be. So Chile tonight is level 4 out of 5. Canary Islands are 4 out of 5. So that's good. If it's level 1, then they won't open the telescopes. But if you click on Canary 1 here, it takes you to the telescopes. And I already actually have all of the Canary telescopes open. Here's Canary 1. And you can click on 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the solar telescope. If you click on that one, it will tell you right now it's offline because the sun isn't up in the sky. So it's telling you it's offline. But here's one, and here's the image. If you like this image and want it, you can snap a picture. You'll see a little bit of a picture that shows up in there. Here's Canary 2. We have got a satellite galaxy. Oh, and look at this. Notice this little line that's crossing here? That is a satellite. If it's ever at an angle, if it's just straight up and down or straight across, that's probably a lens issue. If it's at an angle like this, it's probably a satellite. And remember, these are time-lapse photos, so they'll be there for about 5 minutes. And so this is how far the satellite's gone in 5 minutes. This galaxy is 2.5 million light years away from us. I'll snap a picture there. You can see the little picture has arrived up there. Let's see, I want to go to Canary 3. Here we have, oh, that's a nice one. Messier 42 is in fact the Orion Nebula. This is looking at it from a slightly different angle. And I'll snap a picture of that. And then Canary 4, I already have up. This is Betelgeuse. Notice how red it is. I'm going to snap a picture of that one too. So notice how red it is. Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse. Now Michael Keaton's going to show up for us. Notice how big it is too. This is the most likely star in your life to explode. Now each mission, notice over here on the right, it says current mission Betelgeuse, Alpha Orionis, another name for Betelgeuse. They last about 5 minutes. So if you stop and look at an image for about 5 minutes, the next mission will then automatically load into the area. See, now we've got Hubble's variable nebula. Notice we've got a slow fade in as the light collects. And we've got a little bit of a nebula here. If you've ever played badminton, this looks like the little badminton shuttlecock that you bounce back and forth here. Notice it all looks black and white. Usually the colors don't start showing up until you've got 2 or 3 minutes of light exposure that's coming through. But this is Hubble's variable nebula. And then if we go back to 3, here we have a different Messier object. This is Messier 31. And it looks a lot like that satellite galaxy that we were looking at a minute ago. But that satellite galaxy is actually this little blob down here. So this is a further out view of what's going on. This is also about 2.5 million light years away, probably more like 2.1 million light years away. This is a satellite galaxy of the bigger galaxy. That means it's going around this one here. And notice we've got a little bit of a streak going on here. That's also probably a satellite. Professional astrophotographers have software that edits that out. It's easy to edit that stuff out if you know how to do it. So I'm going to snap a picture of that one too. Now we'll go back to 2. They've got another bright star here, and it says, Planet Mars meets bright star Botein. So what they're doing is they're looking at Mars as it's encountering a star. So someone just wants this picture. Mars is a little bit overexposed here. It doesn't really look like Mars. That's because they've got a filter on it that's aimed more for stars than for planets. That becomes important sometimes. And then this one here is a field of stars. We can see some are closer and some are further away. Some are brighter and some are dimmer. People are doing this kind of mission with celestial coordinates. What they'll do is they'll take this picture and then they'll take the same picture again tomorrow night and the same picture the next night and the same picture next week and see if anything moves. Because if something moves, then they might have a comet or they might have an asteroid that they haven't discovered yet. There are people on Slooh who are asteroid hunters who are looking for that. That's what they do. So you'll see those. These 4 telescopes are open from roughly 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun goes down in the Canary Islands until a little after midnight. The Chilean ones will open probably around 8 o'clock tonight, our time. Chile's about the same time zone as we are. So what will happen is that will be open in our evening and into the early morning hours that are there. And you can just bounce between all the different telescopes and snap whatever pictures you want. And then you can go home again. And let's scroll down and notice the pictures that I was snapping are now on the photo roll. Here's the Orion Nebula, Messier 42 that I took. Here's Betelgeuse. Here's the star field. Here's the satellite galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy. That's what Messier 31 is. The Mars one, did I snap that one? No, I didn't snap that one. So that didn't show up. But yeah, so if you click the details, that'll bring up the larger image there. And mission details down below tell you which telescope, Canary 3, which observatory, so Canaries or Chile, who actually scheduled the mission. Your name might be there sometime, but you can piggyback off of other missions and the date and time. And you can actually write something up on this. And so I'll do something here like Andromeda Dreaming, if I can spell. And I am introducing my students to Slooh via Zoom video and using this nice image of the Andromeda Galaxy M31 as an example of how to post up observations. And then you can save that. And once it's saved, you can share it. And you can select a club. You can share it to our class. I'd like for you to do that with some of yours. Or you can also share it to your other club, like Ptolemy. So I'm going to share this one to Ptolemy. And it'll tell you you earned your 10 gravity points. So those little point things. Again, don't worry too much about the points. Some people really go after those and chase them, and there's no problem with that. It's fun, but I'm not going to grade anything based on gravity points for you. So that's just a little fun kind of thing. So you can go back to observation or go back home again. And that's what you can be doing that's there. Feel free to schedule missions. Feel free to poke around in the other quests, and you can scroll in and scroll out. The gold shield means that you have been awarded it, you've completed it. The half shield means you've started it, but it's not done yet. And these, I could start them, but I'll never be able to finish them because they're out of date, and they haven't removed them yet along the way. This is the quest map, which you see when you first scroll in, but you can go to the object map too. And this shows you what's called the Slooh 1000. And anything in the darker zone here is visible to one or the other of our observatories for Slooh. Notice that there's some things like way down here, this one, Caldwell 109, is not visible to either one of them. These over here are not visible, Caldwell 42 and Homem, sorry, and Shiat and Caldwell 44. Those are seasonal, so we can't see those. But if you scroll in on this, you'll see the names start popping up. If you want to try to collect all 1,000 of them, you can actually click on something here and you can plan a mission. And it will take you to the mission planning area that we showed before. You can change your settings down here. So the objects with images or without images. So if I click without images here, notice a lot of them disappear. These are the things I haven't taken pictures of yet, but everything else that disappeared, I already have taken pictures. These are the things I have taken pictures of. Notice there are a lot more things in the south that I haven't taken pictures of. That's because there are 4 telescopes in Chile for the north, and there are only 2 that operate most of the time in Chile for the south. So you're much more likely to get things in the north than the south. But there's no race. And for the things that you're doing on your quests, most of them can be seen by either telescope. So you have a full range to use that. So I know that's a lot of information. You may need to watch this a couple of different times. Feel free to come to our Zoom class meetings, and I will open up Zoom and open up Slooh with you if you want me to, and we can step through some things together as well. So let me know, and happy Zooming and happy slewing, and maybe you too will take a picture of something that can end up as your background here. This is an interesting one. Gabriela Mistral, She was an Argentinian, I believe, and she's a real person. And this was named after her. She won the Nobel Prize for Literature, I believe. And this was named for her because there's a famous picture in Argentina of her looking sort of profile, sort of, actually I should do it this way, the profile. So you can sort of see the profile on the image there of a nose, and you can sort of see the nose that's there and see the forehead up there. It's hard for me to do it backwards because it's like working in a mirror. But it was named in her honor because of that. So there are some old things in the sky and there's some new things in the sky. So maybe someday someone will name something after you. You never know. So I hope you enjoy your time with Slooh. As you can see, we'll have the quest reports and the posters. Let me go in here to our classroom. If I can pull up our classroom again, let me see if it comes up easily here. Let me share my screen again with you now. Share screen. And you should be seeing the dashboard. If you go to our class, go to modules. We have Slooh Lab 1. I'm going to change that little date down there. But if you go to this, let me change it to student view. So what you're seeing, submit assignment. This is where you will you'll click submit assignment, and you can add your files to this. So you can add I would choose file. I would go to looking for the different kinds of things that are here among the downloads. Well, it would be for me among the downloads there. I'm not going to do that because I'm not a student, but this would be where you would do it. So you'd add two files, your poster file and your report file. You can add the third file, like for the sun, you had that third file there. You can add that. I don't require that, but you can add that if you want to. That would be fine. And then hit submit assignment there. And again, make sure that you do that here in Canvas. And I will change this date that says the 15th, since we're just getting everyone up and running and the solar telescope wasn't up this weekend. I will change that date to the end of the week for our first ones so that you can get that in there. So what I want you to do for this one is for Slooh Lab 1, the dynamic star, the rising star one. And for Slooh Lab 2, which I'll also be posting up here with our next module, we will do the Hunter Nebula. You'll do 12 quests overall for this course. And I may offer a couple of other quests as extra credits. So don't be shy about going forward and doing other quests. And hopefully this will be fun. This is the first time we're doing this. I got a grant that's paying for each of you to do this. It's $50 a student, actually, to do this. So the grant is paying for each of you to be on Slooh. So you don't have to pay anything directly. And part of what we're doing is we're testing it out to see whether it's worth doing. So you get to be not only scientists doing your experiments, you also get to be part of an experiment yourself, as am I. So let me know what works and doesn't work, and we'll go forward and boldly image where no one, well, where a bunch of people, I guess, have imaged before, but the images will be yours, especially if you book the missions. See you later.